Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and the other thing too is like he's not alone, right? Like 99.9. Like, dude, like I was fortunate. Like I had a strong arm. I did not know how to use anything other than my arm, you know. But it just comes with like just constantly like, I wouldn't say trial and error, but just exploring like your body. Obviously, you can't say that to, you know, a kid in high school because he's gonna be like, that sounds nerdy. That's weird. What does that even mean? But like that's a lot of what we do out here. Is we're trying to, you know, do certain movements that give you some sort of like feedback. And be like, oh, I can take that into, you know, next throw or whatever. But my encouragement for anyone that is of of that age is like keep it simple and be like, okay, how do you throw and like, you know, whether it be a grip or whether it be like body organization, arm path, whatever, when you try to throw the ball as far as you can, right? So, or throw the ball as far as you can, or throw the ball as quickly as you can with power, right? So like the 6-hole shortstop in the hole, whatever, get rid of it. That's usually a really good indicator of like where the lower half should be, how the arm path should work. Yeah, and then you just like a big thing with pitching, and I struggle with this too, is all of the time that you have, right? You have the ability to control the tempo, you can move, you can organize in any way. And a lot of kids, they perceive that, you know, power is almost a slower movement, which is tough, you know? And everyone's always probably saying like, get on time with your arm and all this stuff. And it's like, I would always narrow the gap from where he's at from like a long toss perspective, where he's at from like a shuffle, pull down, you know, run and gun or whatever. And then just make it make sense to how that all kind of equates to, you're trying to find your most, trying to find natural athleticism and how to organize powerfully. And a lot of kids, without thinking, because it's just task completion, right? It's just like, how far can you throw it? And then they'll go boom, and you'll see a lot of like really good things happen. But then when it comes to like 60 feet, 6 inches, you're trying to place a ball in a particular location, right? Everyone's worried about walking guys or throwing balls. So then they get a little brake pedal, they get a little slower.
That's definitely
yeah. And look, dude, like I'm 10, 11, 12 years into pro ball or whatever, and it's like I still do that sometimes. Like I can talk about it, but like it still occurs. Like it's oh boy.
Just grab the baseball, don't
instinct, yeah.
What does your body do when you just say, I want to move this ball over there?
And I think that I credit that, like now looking back and like seeing how I was in high school and then seeing how I was my first couple of years of pro ball, it just makes sense because in high school I'd play infield and I'd take those, and it was just that constant like stimulus and that constant feedback. And then when I turned pro, and it was all just pitching specific throwing. Like, all right, when we play catch, we leg lift, all these things. So my body got used to that type of input, and it changed things. And it's like, no, I mean, you want to establish, good for you. You want to establish like that athletic foundation, and then you want to build on that, right? So you said tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I think he's a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
So
and you're the father too, so it's like he's not going to listen to a whole lot of what you have to say. I was the same way with Pop. Something extremely beneficial for a lot of kids too, and I know they probably hate it, but like that alone time, like no, like in a super controlled, free environment, right? A lot of kids, myself included, like get a little bit of restriction when there's people watching or whatever, you know, and you get pretty bad feedback.